That's right.
I was
Food
playing a game.
shops.
I forgot.
That's right.
Whenever you uploaded the video with,
We're watching a
fuck,
debate.
I think it was like Dean Withers.
It was
debating
Dean Withers
Destiny.
versus Destiny. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like snaking out of it and shit. I was playing a game, so I can't exactly remember the conversation. But I think I heard you talking about like the slur situation, and I remember you saying some things that like I disagreed with, but I completely I was like rewatching the thing earlier, but well, what's your take on like slurs exactly? Because I really wish I called earlier because I had it in mind, but I completely forgot.
Slurs are okay. I mean, like the thing is that if you can turn any word into a slur if you try hard enough, and if you use slurs in a non-derogatory setting,
That's not
right?
true.
There's really nothing wrong with that.
Can't
like,
turn
it is what
any
it is,
word into a slur.
So like, obviously, for example, an unacceptable usage of a slur would be
What?
my landlord calling me a mongoloid. That'll probably not be okay. I'll probably tell him that I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah.
But an acceptable way of using a slur, but in a non-slur context, would be like, "Yo, what's up, my nigga?" You know, that would be something that's fine. You know.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. I think that I think what I mostly disagreed with was the fuck.
That's only the second time I've heard her say it. For a person that likes to say slurs, she really doesn't say them very often. I wonder why.
Fuck. I'm trying to think. I don't want to like misquote you, so let me know if like I'm misquoting you. I think Dean Withers was saying something like you can't be racist to white people or whatever. And you like I think you like hard disagreed with that or something like that.
Hard disagree.
Yeah, and I think that like you can obviously be racist to white people, but I think that obviously in America, I think it is. I think like culturally, I don't think that white people are affected as much as like from racism as like almost any other. And that's not to like this because obviously like white people go through different struggles. Everybody goes through different struggles. But you know what I mean? I think he just worded it like a fucking asshat. But like do you agree with that? Or?
I think that Dean Withers should be talented. He's not a dumb person. I don't think he's a dumb person, and I think that he does watch what words he's saying. I'm sure. So I would probably like hold a higher standard for him, in order to express the ideas that he actually wants to express, right? With that being said, obviously we can chalk it up to him being nervous or something, and that can explain a lot of things. However, what I'll say instead is what it seems like what is more likely is that he probably has the classic progressive view that racism is just there has to be a systemic racism for something to be called racism or something, which is retarded. Because obviously, if you have like a white person
No, it does. Yes, individuals. Okay. So, I had a feeling that she was going to take this avenue. She was gonna say what she's saying here is my bad.
Likely is that he probably has the classic progressive view that racism is just there has to be a systemic racism for something to be called racism.
So this is what libs and leftists say. They do say well, there's no systemic racism, there's no institutional racism against white people. So white racism isn't real. But what she's saying here is, individuals can be racist against white people, right? And that's true. That's true. Nobody's denying that. No person can. You can't deny that because it just like there are individuals who are like racist or whatever, like bigoted towards white people. The difference is that their racism is number one a reaction to society's racism against them, because this person is probably not white, like the person that's like I hate whitey, I'm like racist against white people. People that hold that position are typically going to be people of color who face discrimination in their lives. So, yeah, but also their racism isn't upholding like institutional racism. That's the difference. That's why it doesn't fucking matter when an individual is racist against white people. It's not the same. It's just not the same thing, okay?
Something which is retarded, because obviously if you have like a white person in a black neighborhood and they're just really white, right? There's almost no doubt that this person's gonna face some degree of racism, going to school and stuff like that, right? So yeah, this is why I think Dean Withers' position is retarded, and I do think he believes what he's saying there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd even like agree with like that. That's his full view because I
Mhm.
honestly think that it's. I think that he cultivated a audience of like you know like the TikTok, you know like the liberal TikTok people, and I think that he's scared to debate Destiny. Like it seemed like he was really scared to debate Destiny, and I think that's just because he doesn't want to like talk about like the hard shit because he knows if he says something wrong, he's gonna be put on a fucking like he's they're gonna like crucify him if he says like one thing wrong, right? I don't know. That's just like what I took from
Have
it.
you ever seen the mm,
You're
have
talking
you
about
ever
the
seen
fuck America thing, or
I think
the
he
Pierce Morgan
didn't
one?
want to debate that. I think he's right that Dean did not want to debate Destiny, and it's just because Destiny is good at debating, and that's not a compliment. Like, it doesn't mean what you think it means. Okay, Destiny is good at like vomiting a word salad at his opponent, at his ideological opponent. And Destiny has been right about things before. And the funny thing is, usually when he's actually correct about something, he's worse at debating. Like, he gets worse at it when he's actually correct. It's just like that, a perfect example of this is when he was debating Ben Shapiro. I'm
Have
sorry,
you ever
I'm
seen
getting
Dean Withers on
kind of
Pierce Morgan
sleepy.
refusing to say retarded or something?
no, I haven't.
You should watch it then, because I think that one is more infamous than anything else when it comes to like his position on the usage of slurs, because you can see him clearly and very very clearly like being very very paranoid about what he's saying on that, just to make sure he's not like canceled by his audience or anything. And overall it just seems like a very like embarrassing appearance for him, and the person that was making fun of him for that was Andrew Wilson, who was calling him retarded or something. And he was just extremely like embarrassing. That's it, so
Yeah.
mhm.
Well, I mean, my position on it is that I think it's kind of like hard because obviously like slurs are especially on the slur, right? Like I don't think like our slurs like so normalized. So, but
Mhm.
I the way that I go about it is fuck. Well, what's the way that I should? I want to word this right so I don't get like I don't want to like misinterpret or whatever. But I think that it's kind of like in like a really public sense. It's almost a little like immature to like use them a lot. Like especially like I don't want to say that I like that's the name, but I agree with most of the
Mhm.
things that he says. But I
Okay.
think when you use like slurs like so much the way that he does, I think it kind of like
Does
dilutes
he?
like it
Does he?
dilutes.
I mean, to be fair,
I think
does
so.
he? Really? Like,
I think so.
you think he just uses like a fuck ton of slurs like on
No, I'm
stage?
just like the R slur. Yeah, like the
Oh,
R
the
slur.
R slur. Oh, but the R slur isn't really a big deal, is it? Like, I feel like it's not.
Well,
Is it?
y- well, I mean, I'm not saying it's like a super big
Mhm.
deal. I'm just saying like it kind of, in my opinion, it kind of comes off as like childish a little bit.
I think that
But
I think that it
Alright.
a
is.
little bit. I mean,
Alright.
I'm just saying.
Mm.
But
What exactly is the? I mean, the biggest difference between saying someone that is stupid versus someone saying that someone is retarded is the magnitude, right? That's it.
mhm.
No. So I mean, like, if you felt like someone was so stupid to the point where you can't just say very stupid, isn't it just better to call them retarded?
um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd agree with that. I mean, I understand, especially in like some situations, like
Mm-hmm.
the word works, but I think that the word has generally caused more harm than good, in my opinion.
Um.
Which is why I like
Okay.
even if I can say it, I don't like I refrain from saying it publicly because that's not like the audience I want to cultivate. I'm just people
Mhm.
like just saying it all the time. You know what I mean?
Um.
But it is very
Do
nuanced
you think
subject.
do you think that there might be some downstream positive effects of having terms like retarded being used in regular circulation compared to like negative effects?
I think if everybody used slurs, like
Mhm.
if everybody used slurs like not derogatory, I think that would be completely fine. Like if everybody just, but like that's not how slurs are used. That's why they're slurs. You know what I mean? Like if everybody just
What?
used them as regular words again, I don't think there
What?
would be like a problem.
What do you consider a slur? How do you consider a slur?
I think it's just if it's used to, what's the word? If it's used to like oppress, or not just oppress. That
Oppress?
sounds so
Nah.
fucking cringy. Yeah, I don't like, got it. But like if it's used to like, what's the word? Put down a group of people. I don't like using publicly.
Does
Like
what
You're
group of people
already
does using
cringe,
the
by
R
the way.
slur put down?
like mentally disabled people.
Okay.
I would say because
Do
I
do
went to
people I mean, I could be
yeah, go
wrong,
ahead.
but do people who use the R
Okay.
slurs, I mean, do people even
Okay. I'm just gonna. They've been talking about this for a while now. They'll probably keep going for a little bit, but the real story is that the R word was a term used in the medical industry, the healthcare industry, I just did fucking quote healthcare. Okay, they use the word it was like a classification of people. I believe if you had a low enough IQ, that's how they measured it. Okay, you would take an IQ test. If you scored below like I want to say it was like 65, then you were labeled, with that word. And then it became to be used by the public to mean a broader number of people, and it was certainly used in a derogatory way, so it's not right to say it. That being said, I did say it recently when I was playing Fortnite. Okay, my bad. It's not okay to use it. I don't condone it, and I shouldn't have done it. My bad. But anyway,
Use retarded to refer to actually mentally disabled.
I can't believe that
Yeah, in my experience.
this person.
Well, I mean, it just depends on the social setting. Right? Like when I was in high
Yanks.
school, when I was in high school, I was in the
Yanx.
special needs class because
Okay.
obviously like.
This
and,
person is saying
I'm not, like, super,
we
like,
should
it's not,
just
like, obvious that I have,
all
like, anything, right? But
say
I had stuff, right?
fucking
But,
slurs.
I heard people,
like hell
constantly
yeah,
call the people
hell
around me
yeah,
that-
man.
that
That
word.
yeah,
It's
that would
insane.
be
I mean,
so
it sounds
great
like- it sounds like
for
you have some kind of personal
everybody
history with it. I think that's
involved.
fine.
Yeah, that would be
Do you
so
think that
great.
when people say
How-
the retarded
Yo,
around you,
how
do you think
much-
that they're specifically
we should
like calling you out and religiously with special needs?
how
No.
high should I
No,
bet
I-
on
I-
this
I just- when I hear
person's
somebody say it, it's kind of
So
Yeah,
context
like
matters, right? Like, I
race.
guess context
Yeah.
really does matter here. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm completely fine normally with people like using it in like a
based
my
off
only
of
issue
how
is, like, if you use
racist
them,
this
like,
person
all the
is,
time,
I
like, if they
think
use
they're
people-
probably
I'm
white.
trying to- where people, like, will use
Probably,
it.
but
Like,
I don't
you know
know.
that people will use it,
I
like,
could be wrong.
derogatory.
You
You
never
know what I
know
mean?
these days.
Mhm.
People will use it derogatory. That's my only issue. That's why I'm saying it kind of seems like a little immature when you have such a big fan base and you know that like your fan base is gonna hear you say that. Like the way that you use it may be correct, but like it's just it's just
Most
hard to
likely
Just
white.
so I can
Number
stay on that,
two,
like, so I understand. Do you think that maybe? Do you think that
Latinx,
maybe
so
it's
I might not-
yeah, sure, no problem. Okay.
Yeah, go
No, do you think that maybe
Yep.
it's even more mature to
for sure.
be honest and forthright with your fan base by using slurs? Like, do you think that maybe that presents a more honest light on yourself?
Well, what do you mean by that? Like honest by using slurs, huh?
Well, I mean, you said it was immature, but that I don't know. Maybe the thing is that we're having a vibes debate, right? We're having a vibes, not a vibes
Yeah,
debate,
yeah,
but
pretty
like a
much.
vibes,
It's just-
vibes conversation, right? We're just talking about the vibes. Like, do you think that maybe it could benefit someone in that, like, if someone is just simply using slurs, that someone might go, well, in private we use slurs all the time. So when this streamer uses slurs in public, I kind of feel as though this person is being honest. Like, don't you think that maybe something to think about?
Yeah, no, I could see that. I could see that.
Mhm.
I definitely I've talked about that point of view and I see that point of view before, but I just don't know if I don't know if people taking comfort in that person like they're like, oh, that person's honest is like, if that's like counteracts the especially if you have a giant audience, the fucking kids that watch it, you know what I mean? Like I think it's just
I'm pretty sure the average age of people who watch Destiny is like 20 to 30, so it's not really
Really?
kids. Yep, it's not kids.
Really? Jesus.
Yeah, it's not
That's
kids.
true.
Well,
Maybe.
I'll give a reinforcing fact actually.
Mhm.
So typically kids these days they watch a lot of things that have short attention spans. Like if the videos have short attention spans, for example, Mr. Beast
Oh,
and stuff like
shit.
that, right? Destiny's video.
So I think that Destiny's fan base is probably 22 to 30. Yeah. However, there are certainly 100% children in his community. Okay, there are probably a few. Who knows? There could be, maybe more than you think. I don't know. I guess if I had to estimate what percentage of his fan base is children, I'd probably say like 10 to 14%. At least maybe more. And that's a lot of people. Destiny is certainly influencing young minds, and that is so terrifying. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to like fearmonger, but that is so
are not
insane to me.
digestible for the normal
Please,
audience.
kids,
His videos
stop.
are, like,
Do not
30 minutes,
watch
45 minutes,
Destiny.
an hour
Most
of
of them
yapping,
don't.
of
Okay,
yapping
most
and,
of them
like,
are
completely not related things to
normal.
the topic at hand of whatever video it is.
I feel like
That's not made for teenagers. That's not made for kids these days. It's made
Gen
for
Alpha
someone
is
who
fine.
wants to
Okay,
use
I'm
white
not
noise
like work,
in the
but
background
it
while they're
is
playing a video game, or
still though
when they're,
like
doing something
like
else, or
even
doing
one
something.
child
That's
watching
what that's
Destiny
for. So
I
consistently
think a good
is
example of like what I mean by like it can be
just
it can
a
be
travesty. Like
I don't know like the right phrase, but
I
it can be like
don't
dangerous.
I
I
don't
guess it's kind of like cringe, but like with Sneeko, right? Like I feel like Sneeko's a good example where like so many
Mhm.
children watch him, and he's just constantly dropping like the T slur and the R slur. And that one clip where like kids came up to him and like, yeah, we hate trans people, right? Yeah, we hate like it's crazy, dude. Like the effect that like these super large
Yeah.
streamers have on like the culture of children, it's insane to me. Which is why I think it can be weaponized. Weaponized kind of. I feel like if you're not careful with it, it can definitely lead to like
I just in general I just don't think it's that big of a deal. I just don't think so. I don't think there's this big slur epidemic to the point where everyone is like being destroyed over this or something.
yeah, no, I definitely don't either. That's why like
Yeah.
I talking about it, right? Like I just
Like if you want to advocate for people to, like, for example, if you want to advocate for sorry, if you are worried about the downstream negative effects of large creators using slurs, then in general you should probably advocate for content creators to be genuine and nice and polite in general, right? It's not just about slurs at that point. You're talking about, I wish people could just try to be kinder role models. That's what you're advocating for. Does that make sense?
yeah. I mean, I think that is also like something that I don't necessarily really even want that to be like everything. Fuck. Yeah, no, that is a good point. I don't know. I
No,
never really thought
I mean, you can tell someone.
crazy hard into this, yeah.
And by the way, I mean, we don't really disagree all that much because think about it, right? Because you can perfectly tell somebody, hey, I don't think you should attack people based on their intrinsic characteristics, right? Unless they're willing to go there. If they're willing to go there, then fine, you went there, right? But like if on its surface, I don't think you should make comments like for example, if somebody is actually mentally like retarded, okay, I don't think you should say, hey, sup Downey, God, you look so stupid with that drool coming out the side of your mouth, you fucking retard, right? Like obviously, that like no one would agree that's okay to say, like no one normal at the very least, right? But so I guess you can just advocate for people to not insult people based on their internal, inherent characteristics, right? However, let's just say that the Downey retard person said, hey, look at you, you're so fat and ugly. Yeah, well, you're just a fucking Downey retard. You look like a fucking vegetable and you act like one too. Like, obviously, in that scenario, it's fine because that person insulted you based on your inherent characteristics. So you should probably do it back to them. Otherwise, they have the, I don't know, it's like unfair, right?
Yeah, and also I'm not really like an advocate of like what's like I'm not really like an advocate of like treat like black people or like like minority groups like with like kid gloves, right? Like I really dislike that. I feel like that just like, oh god, that holy shit. Like I'm like white passing, right? But I am like a mixed and like there's been times where I've told somebody like what race I was, and they've like they started like treating me differently, and it's so like dehumanizing, you know what I mean? Like I fucking hate that shit. So I mean I don't know, if somebody is already like saying like the R slur or whatever like all the time, and then like a person like autism comes on or whatever, and like they don't use it because of that, I don't know if I'd even like advocate for that as well. I don't know, especially
Sure,
again,
maybe,
it just depends context.
I
feel
mean,
like.
yeah, I mean, like you have to kind of read the room, right? I mean, like, I don't like. Does that even happen? Like, is somebody called retard, and then they say they have autism, and then suddenly they're handling kids gloves? Like, what are you referring to here?
Well, I'm referring to like liberals where they, especially during when I was watching the, God, I got this vibe when I don't know if you watched like the whole like Unfuck America tour thing. I think Dean Withers got like completely cucked by like everybody in that panel. Like I don't know everything about it, but there was this girl that just like kept talking over him, and like he was like standing up for her and stuff, and he was like, because obviously he's bigger, and I think she said something like, well, I'm black or something, like I don't need you to, you know what I mean, I don't need you to stand up for me, and he was like letting it slide or whatever, like that like cringe-esque type thing is what I mean. Like I don't like really advocate for that type of stuff. I just advocate for the, I just don't think I don't think it's very great to be saying stuff like that publicly. But
okay,
I mean,
cool.
opinions are opinions. Yeah, I mean,
one might as well. I mean, obviously, in public, you shouldn't be like I would be watching around me if I was gonna call one of my mates like, "What's up, my nigga?" Right? Like if I like, I wouldn't probably say that, right? But like I think I would be comfortable saying, like, "Dude, you're so retarded." Like obviously, I think one is more okay than the other depending on like societal standards, right? But like I don't like I don't even disagree. It's just like just read the room, okay? It's fine. Just be a little bit socially aware, and a little bit less autistic, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, I think, okay, so fuck me. I think I remember one of the things.
Hold on. Lynn just said being Italian and British does not make you mix. Ask him the mix. I don't know why people are trying to raise it. What's your mix? Go. What's your text mix?
I'm not Italian. Okay, I want to be. Oh my god, I want to be honest, but I'm mixed I'm mixed black with something. So
Oh, you're like half black.
I don't.
Quarter black.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
third black.
So I don't. I'm definitely something about that.
Okay.
So something there definitely. But fucking
Okay.
what was that, Italian and British? That's hilarious.
Like, are you
But-
are you just like so mixed to the point where you don't even know who you are anymore?
Yeah, I think I have like
Okay.
30 different things, right? And like I don't know what I am at this point, you know. But I'll find out eventually.
Then I mean,
No,
if
I'm
you're
trolling,
white,
I'm trolling.
if you're white passing and you have like 30 different things, isn't that just white? Because that's like white people in America. Like they have like 30 different things and they're just white, right?
No, I'm more like Hispanic passing, not like white
Oh,
passing.
okay,
I just
okay, Hispanic
yeah,
passing. Okay, I got you.
I guess I don't think that's even a word though. So I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, I think you had this point where you said
Okay. He said they were talking about this a while ago, but I just wanted to say I thought about this again. I did. This shit is so fucking stupid. I actually regret watching this. I thought it would be more interesting. It's just really boring. They're talking about Dean Withers getting like, you know, sit down. Like I don't need, like get like stop. Dude, like yeah, when I think that Dean Withers, when that happened, he probably just didn't care. For the most part, he was probably like a little embarrassed. Who cares? Okay, like we move on. Everybody forgets. It doesn't matter. Also, I didn't see it happen, so I don't know if it's cringe, but it was probably just like Dean Withers. Maybe he overstepped. I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I were being like verbally assaulted by someone in public and then somebody else like steps in and starts like speaking rapid fire debate mode to defend me. I would also probably be like, look, you know, just like cool it, okay? They were talking to me.
where Dean said that white people are less affected by slurs. I don't know if we already went over that. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure you disagreed with that, which I do agree with that. Which is like I wanted to know what you thought about it.
Can you repeat that question? Okay.
So Dean, I'm pretty sure said to Destiny that white people are less affected by slurs, and I'm pretty sure you disagree with that.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. No, Dean's not wrong. White people are less affected by slurs, but you can still be racist to white people, and
Yeah,
how a
100%.
white person
And
feels
he-
can still feel discriminated against, obviously.
Yeah, and he was trying to. I think it's partially because he is white himself,
But-
and that he doesn't.
But
It's so
there,
weird.
but it does. But
I think-
there, no. The difference between the two are that no material harm comes to white people from white racism. That's why white racism isn't fucking real. It's not a real thing because nothing happens to white people because of it. It's so fucking crazy to me. Like I am not a smart man, okay? But I think for like 2 seconds about this, and it's just immediately you should know why they are wrong. Why
I just think that he's kind of scared to say what he
I don't
believes, You know, I don't know. Like I don't think that he really
Me
like, he
neither.
truly in his heart of hearts believes that you can't be racist towards people. Like I don't know. You know, I don't think that's what he really believes.
I don't know. No, I don't think he believes that either. Yeah.
yeah.
It's just I don't know.
Okay.
But
Is
yeah,
there anything
I
else?
mean, no, that's all. That's all. I just wanted to.
Yeah, he probably just doesn't know that like white self-proclaimed white racist exist. By the way, if you actually look into like white racists of old or of recent, it's always they're just like pissed off. I have the perfect thing to watch to respond to this. It's called Dr. Phil's. Yeah, Big Joel made a video on it. Let's watch Big Joel.
Hey everybody,
Yeah, we're
so
gonna
Dr.
watch
Phil's
it.
House of Hatred
Look,
was
I've
a
already
reality
seen this,
television
so I'm gonna
miniseries
put- I'm
made
gonna
in
s-
2006.
we're gonna watch
Dr.
it
Phil
quickly.
invites 6 people
It's
to
also
stay in a
40
house in LA
minutes
for a
long.
week.
I wanna
A
watch
skinhead
this,
and a
so.
black person who hates white people, a fatphobe and a fat guy who
Yeah.
hates skinny people, a
I love
homophobe and a
this
gay
video.
woman who hates straight people. This is a social experiment. That's what Dr. Phil calls it. He actually coined that term.
Today in the Dr. Phil house, we start what I like to call a social experiment.
And the purpose
Yo.
is, I guess, to resolve bigotry.
Now, we didn't do this just for the sake of fireworks, although there will be plenty. We did this to help break down the walls of hatred and prejudice that plague all of our lives.
This show was hard for me to find. I've known about it for a few years, but it wasn't accessible anywhere. In the end, I offered $200 to anyone who could find it for me, and luckily, I guess, someone managed it. The version I have doesn't seem entirely complete. All we have is a lengthy clip from the Wayback Machine, remnants of the original series. Some things are out of order or corrupted or straight up missing, so the authentic experience of this show is, as of now, truly lost media. Usually, I try to write videos with some kind of overarching argument, but because probably none of you have seen this show, I just want to walk you through the whole thing. These are 3 of the strangest, most cursed episodes of television I have ever seen in my life. I think there's something unique and interesting about them, and I'm excited to talk about it. I will warn you, though, that at times it's not an easy watch. It's not the easiest thing to sit through. And with that, let's jump into it. Episode 1. Dr. Phil begins the show with a bonding exercise. The first thing he wants the 6 participants to do is establish within 10 minutes who will be bunking with whom.
You have 10 minutes to work it out among yourselves and figure out who's bunking with who. If you can't meet this challenge within the next 10 minutes, you will not receive the key to your room, and you will be forced to crash in the living room together.
The participants start to speak with one another for a moment, and Dr. Phil is just immediately annoyed.
I don't care what anyone says. I want to be in the living room.
You know, it's interesting that these people are supposedly here to make a life-changing effort, but yet they're talking about meaningless chit-chat.
Why aren't they talking about racism, he wonders? Why aren't they drilling down and getting down to the fact that they all hate each other? Why he would expect such a thing, I have no idea. It's plainly not what he asked them to do. It's as though the producers wanted to create this show, saw these people speak for around a minute, and said, oh, this isn't gonna work out at all. This show is extremely stupid. Dr. Phil walks into the room and establishes who's going to bunk together.
Well, I hate small talk, chit-chat, and cocktail parties, so I'm not wasting 10 minutes of my life listening to this crap.
Just straight up ignores the thing he said to these people, an amazing start to what he calls his social experiment. One of the first things Dr. Phil says to the group is that he is not confident in whatever is happening here.
You know, I'm going to tell you the truth as I see it, right?
That's right.
That doesn't mean that you got to agree with what I say at all. You may leave here even more entrenched than you were when you got here.
You may leave here less bigoted, more bigoted. You may like fat people more after this week. You may hate them even more. I don't know. I'm just going to leave you 6 crazy kids alone in this house for a week, and we'll just sort of figure it out. Here we come to the introduction of our cast. Short films made to tell us who these people are and who they hate. And through these intros, we discover a kind of fundamental problem with this show. When I describe Dr. Phil's House of Hatred to you, I imagine a few of you had the thought, that's not usually how bigotry works. Like, on one side, we have the people who represent actual, real-world, influential prejudice, homophobia, fatphobia, racism. And on the other, we have the marginalized groups, fat, black, gay. There's an obvious imbalance here between the bigotries that exist and the bigotries that really don't. Still, you think, maybe they hit the jackpot. Maybe John, the fat person they found, truly does believe that skinny people are evil. Maybe Tessa, the gay woman, believes she's morally superior to the straights. Crazier things have happened. But, no, it doesn't really pan out that way. Look how the show introduces B.
White people are so ignorant because they think they're better, smarter, and more talented than we are. And of course, that's bullshit. I think white people are sociopaths, and I'm fed up to here with all of them.
How it introduces Tessa.
I call straight people breeders because that's all they're good for. Just because I'm gay, I've been spit on, pushed, shoved, and yelled at by complete strangers.
I hate breeders so much. Sure, they say they hate the opposite group, but it's complete nonsense. And when you juxtapose their introductions with those of the actual bigots, the difference becomes even more clear.
I have a big hatred towards homosexuals. I think it's disgusting, detestable, wrong, sinful.
No blacks, no Mexicans, no nothing, just all white.
I would much rather kill myself than be fat.
No matter how hard Dr. Phil tries to argue otherwise, these people just don't actually hate the groups they're supposed to hate. They hate being subject to bigotry, as they repeat over and over.
And I don't like them. I like the way they treat me. I like the way they look at me. And I don't like the things that they have done to me.
So that includes me, I guess. So you and I got a problem because I'm white.
That's the thing about Dr. Phil's House of Hatred. From its first moments, it cannot conceal the reality that none of it makes sense, that it has no idea what it's actually here to do.
My biggest concern about being in the Dr. Phil house is that I might beat the living out of someone.
I don't want to spoil anything, but she does it too. Tessa beats the living shit out of every other straight person in the house, and it's crazy to watch. Dr. Phil makes the obvious bunking decisions. Everyone sleeps in a room with the person they hate most. Stacy goes with John, Christina goes with Tessa, Gary goes with B. Here's the thing, Gary, the skinhead, apparently went to jail for being violent against black people. He talks about how much he loves to fight them. Phil even tells him, don't hurt people.
We don't get violent. You've gotten violent before, right? You start fights, slug people, all that. That's just not part of this deal. And make no mistake, you attack somebody on my watch, I will put your happy ass under the jail. And
this guy is just going to be sleeping in the same room with a person from the group he's ostensibly brutalized. He seems kind of worried about it, and so am I, frankly.
Does he expect me to sleep in the same room with this guy? This guy can just like slice my throat in the middle of the night.
But I guess it's all okay. It's all fine. Phil told him that he shouldn't do crimes. So Dr. Phil is doing a little looking.
It's all in the looking.
And what he sees through his surveillance cameras doesn't make him all too happy. B and Gary are having an argument, trying to figure out if racism is bad and if white people did slavery.
It was a slave, it was a black man that brought him over here. She's just ignorant.
It's really productive, but Gary walks away angry and goes to a bedroom with John. There, they form a kind of racist alliance.
We should feel good that someone else in the house feels the same way.
White power, white supremacy.
And Phil quakes in horror.
People back to their own country. You know what I'm saying?
What is he doing? I mean, he's taken Gary's side in this. That's not even his issue.
What are you doing? Why are you being so racist with each other? When I brought the skinhead into my house, I never imagined for a moment that he could have a negative impact on someone else's behavior. Why are you getting other people to be racist, skinhead Gary? I can't emphasize this enough. We are 20 minutes into this show, and it's already gone completely to shit. It gets worse, too. Later on in the episode, John and B have an extended race fight where he just throws out various white supremacist talking points and high-fives his new racist friend.
This is my country. This is not yours. This is my country.
But you know what Phil said at the beginning, right? We don't know what's gonna happen. You could come in a bigot and leave a normal guy. You could come in a normal guy and leave a bigot. We don't know, and that's what makes this social experiment so important. Okay, where are we going with this? I mean, this episode has been an absolute roller coaster so far, and there's lots of material we could explore, but I have an idea. What if we just bullied the fat guy? What if we just made the rest of the episode about bullying the fat guy and specifically focus on just how fat he is? It could be kind
classic
of... Okay,
film
I just want to
move.
pause here real quick
Classic.
and say something. John, the fat cast member, is also known as Stephen Asante. Years after House of Hatred, he would go on to be on My 600-Pound Life, and he had a somewhat infamous run on that show. Even so, I'm not going to get into John's story here, because I don't think it's relevant to anything I'm going to say. I'm far more interested in the show itself than in any personal evaluation of its cast members. At any rate, I just wanted to say that, because if I don't, it will be distracting to some people, and it'll be the only thing I read in the comment section for the next 1,000 years. My feeble heart, can't bear that. Anyway, on with the program. Dr. Phil gives another assignment over the television. You all have to clean the space of the kind of person that you hate.
It's time to get down to the dirty work. This house doesn't clean itself, so you guys have to.
So this is an important bonding exercise, no doubt, and it's going to make everyone way less bigoted. But John just kind of sits there. After making a cursory effort to clean, he sits on the couch and chills. For this reason, the other participants get really mad at him, and Dr. Phil agrees.
Get up and go to work, John.
But here's the thing, John is 700 pounds. Like, they didn't just find a fat guy to fight against the fat hater on the show. They found someone with a very real disability, one that has extreme and obvious implications on his ability to do physical work.
People busting their ass, clean this house from top to bottom.
If you were this happy, you would not. I do the best I can.
So everyone, including Dr. Phil, acting like he's just being lazy is awful. It's an awful thing that's happening here. Also, we have to ask the question, say John was lazy, say Phil was right, and he should be getting off his ass and doing some good old-fashioned Dr. Phil cleaning. What exactly does this have to do with the show? What's the connection here to the House of Hatred? See, I thought John was here because of virulent and very real anti-skinny bigotry.
I'm sick and tired of skinny people putting me down. As far as I'm concerned, they can all go to hell.
You know, how are you helping his progress, Phil? This guy hates skinny people, and you're not doing anything about it. Anyway, we come to the end of the first episode, and it's still just about John. The other members of the house are extremely mad that he smells and won't take a shower.
Hey, John, you ready for your next task? It's getting your ass into that shower.
People of John's size will have trouble fully washing. As he says, it hurts him to stand for that long.
I got a little upset with her because I can't take a shower standing up.
This doesn't matter. John's odor, not his racism or his beliefs, becomes the sole focus of their outrage. At the end of the episode, they refuse to give him food unless he takes a shower.
Hey, she just told John he couldn't eat until he took a shower.
Oh, really?
Did you shower? What?
That's my thing,
What? You're not eating until you shower.
He calls security, threatens to go home, and they all act like he's being an asshole. It is genuinely quite hard to watch. Episode 2. We pick up where we left off. Dr. Phil comes to the house because things are getting out of control.
Wait, that was episode 1?
This is absolutely getting out of control.
And what he says to these people is so odd that I think I have to go through it bit by bit. Dr. Phil starts by condemning John for his racism.
Now, what I want to know is why I shouldn't run your ass out of here on a rail right now.
This makes sense, of course. His behavior was completely unacceptable, but it's wild how unresponsive he is to the actual conditions of this house. He never explicitly mentions what the other participants did. They're not allowing John to eat or his refusal to shower, and I have to wonder if that's because there's really nothing he can say about it. This place, the Dr. Phil house, is just a normal residence. Like, literally, they just got a house in LA. People complained about it because there was too much noise. I bring this up because clearly there was no effort to make the showers more accessible to John, to give him a bath that would fit him or whatever. John even seemingly mentions that he can't shower until he has a chair.
I can't do it until I have a chair.
So yeah, you know, whatever smell he might have, it is most directly Phil's fault and the fault of the producers. I imagine they ended up getting him a chair, though they don't mention it, and from this point forward, nobody explicitly talks about the fight they had, the fact that one participant called security. Phil just memory holes it. It's fine. In an extraordinary moment, Dr. Phil plays a compilation of John's least flattering moments.
Let's just take a look at John's most unflattering moments.
And then does this.
Ever heard about Hollywood and the cutting room floor? Well, there you go. That's Hollywood's cutting room floor. That's how famous you got.
That's right. He plays the tape on national television after already showing all of these events in the last episode. Then he takes that tape and says, see, this is getting left on the cutting room floor, and performatively throws it to the ground. See this tape? This is going nowhere except on TV.
Well, there you go.
Dr. Phil looks at Gary and asks, why are you egging this on? Why are you enabling John to be racist to be?
What are you doing egging this on, Gary? You got better sense than that.
And I think this is perhaps one of the least explicable scenes in the entire show. You should know better, Phil says to the skinhead in his home.
Yeah,
Why should you know better?
yeah,
Why on earth
how
should you
dare
know
you.
better? See, I thought the whole reason you brought this guy
Yo,
on
I
your
love
show
Dr.
was that he
Phil.
was a racist, you know? He has a swastika tattoo. He fights black people. He talks about not liking people of other races. I thought that was the idea for the show. But now we're like, come on, Gary. You're the moral compass here. You're the shining light of anti-racism. You should be calling in your friends. Phil now turns his wrath to B, and you won't believe what he says.
Come on, B. Why would you even dignify him?
He's been doing that all day. I was fed up with it. I was just tired of it. I exploded.
If you need a miracle in your life, then be a miracle in your life.
I want you to take a moment now and reflect on how truly low we've gotten here. At the beginning of the show, we all at least pretended that B had to work through her intense anti-white racism. Now, the main problem with her, the thing she has to deal...
The reason I played this video was because of what they were talking about in the debate. That wasn't even... By the way, that wasn't even a fucking debate. Why the fuck did she call it a debate? Am I crazy? Yeah, debate on Destiny's usage of slurs. How was this even a debate? You both agreed that it would ideally be good for everyone to just say slurs all the time, and somehow, like, no person affected by institutional... I was gonna say institutional racism, but I feel like there's a better descript. Okay, yeah, I think that everyone should, wait. Yeah, I think everyone should just be, like, fine with me saying slurs all the time, because I'm not saying it directly to them, her, nah, that's too old school. That I'm gonna get hit with the unk accusations, which I cannot beat. Yeah, I'm gonna just post. Goodbye. Food shops. What a terrible debate.